Oh, we're getting close, baby. It is 2 days away now from round one. I'm so excited to see the Raiders get out there. I'm excited to see the Big Red, the Big Hosking, who are in this video here. The mid-range guys, 400 to 600k. Just a bit of an update on all of them. We went through the Vegas guys. I'll quickly touch on a couple of them, but mainly just setting up the rest of your squad. Which ones, or which five, however many you want, are you going to have in your side? 400 to 600k. And we're going basically from highest price, near 600 down. Might be a couple in and out of spots, just as I thought of them and pop them in. But we'll go through all those in this one, and then we'll get into the cash cows in a separate video. As you can tell, there's a couple of pages worth of these mid-range guys, and we'll quickly get into that. But before that, guys, subscribe, hit follow on YouTube and on the podcast. We'll kick it off with Ruben Garrick. And these guys between this ratio can really make or break your season. If you pick the right ones, they usually turn into guys that are fairly close to keeper level, and you can hold them for a long time. Hopefully the whole season, but if not, you get them for at least half the season or 3/4 or something like that, and they can really help you. But the other guys, they can put you in a bit of a tough zone where they either lose you a bit of cash, they hold steady, they only make a little bit, and you kind of could have picked someone a little bit better that is a little bit more consistent, or you could have gone for obviously spending up a little bit higher, or you could have gone down to the cash cow range, 400, 350 and below, and set yourself up that way to be able to spend that money on someone that is going to be more consistent. But speaking of consistency, Ruben Garrick is very, very good on that side. The only worry really with him is the head knock worries that he had last year. But I think he's a really good option with some nice upside, especially in that first 3 games. But he's no slam dunk. He's someone that's been in and out of my side and will continue to be that way until the end of round one, in my opinion, given they play a little bit later as well. Cam Munster, I think he's a really strong pick to start. You're hard pressed not selecting someone like Munster with the potential upside that he does have, and I think it's fairly low downside apart from that injury. You've got the round 2 bye, but heaps of teams that are really relevant have buys in the first 5 rounds, and I think early on especially is when you have the biggest chance of being able to cover easily those buys in the first few rounds. Munster a great pick early. Teague Wilton, really, really safe scorer with some small upside. And guys, you've got to work out based on this video and your analysis on these guys. And I've spoken about all these guys in more detail. So if you want to go back to the halves in this mid-range bracket, then you'll see my deep dive analysis on Munster for the stats. So jump in and check that out. If you're just here for the quick stuff, then I think a lot of people are just coming back right now and getting into making their sides. I think this really helps you. And that's the point of that. If you want the deeper dive, go back into those videos. Cash cows for hookers, mid-range for halves, guns for mids. That's all there. So just scroll back a little bit and you'll find it, or search it into YouTube and podcasts. Just scroll down. You'll see it easily. So Wilton's a safe guy. I think close to 50 for him will be where he lands. Bevan, you probably expect something similar to Wilton, but has that little bit more upside, but probably has a little bit more downside due to age and unsure on minutes that he's going to play at the Cows. And he didn't make a lot of runs the other day. I'm not sure if that's just because it was a trial game and you're getting the younger guys more play. He made his tackles but missed a bunch as well. KPP, I expect an uptick from him this year. I'm just not sure how much. He looked really, really good on that right-hand side with that big, long, rangy right arm free. And that's awesome with the offload being so important in fantasy. So KPP, a really, really solid selection for your side. And I think he could do a good job. Jerome Luai, he's in the worst team than he was last year. Out the Panthers, clearly. But he has the keys to the castle more so with Galvin than he did with Cleary. As much as I think Cleary has a really good chance to do some great work there. With Galvin, I think that they can split that role. I still think he's a really solid pick, and we've seen him do really good things at halfback with the Panthers. Hosking, there's no Nicholson. He does have Simi Sasangi. He's coming off the calf injury. He could explode. I think that really covers it all. There's some risk, but there's some upside. We know he's got good scoring. We know he can go big. He hit a 90-odd last year. He's hit a 90-odd the year before. Got a 69 in game 1, but then has injury risk, and he has minutes risk. Hosking, fun pick. Horsburgh, all reports saying he's back. He's mended his relationship with Ricky. I think you can lock and load. It's fairly low downside, I think. Some upside, definitely. Decent price. Jai Gray. He's got the spot for the first month or so with Latrell being out. Is that enough for you? I definitely think he's improved. Is he going to outscore what he is priced at? I'm not sure. It's a pick that I won't make, but I'm seeing a few people with him, and I think it's solid. Toby Couchman, I expect him to take a leap this year. How much is going to be the question? You're taking the risk that he's going to get 45 minutes plus at the price, but I do think he likely breaks out. Braden Trindle, question's going to be, how in control of this team is he? Is Hines going to be back to some of his best? I think he can. Trindle and him are going to split a lot of the general play stuff. Attack's going to come for Trindle in a really good team. I think he's an okay pick. Alamotti, he's taking a punt, he goes to the next level, but I don't think that's super ideal on the wing, and there's a little bit of chatter that he might drop out and Jesse McLean comes in on that wing, so keep an eye on that for round 1, which is obviously this weekend for him. Samuel Fainu, I am expecting some improvement out of him. He looked pretty good in the trials, but he didn't score great. It's safe after it's a safe guy on the other side. Fainu, I think, is going to be a bit up and down in his scoring. So if you're interested in that, go for it. Ryan Pappenhausen, the GOAT. Injury worries. I do love him. Just please be back. I think we have to wait and see how that one plays out for Pappy Boy. I'm excited to see him out there, though, in round 1. Let's hope. But he's got some worries coming into that game as well. Alex Twal, I think it's likely he does get the 13. We'll split some time with Bird, but how much time is he going to play at prop to be able to get him closer to 50 minutes? That's the question. I think he's a really solid pick, but you've got Bird there that is pushing to start as well, so it's a hard pick to make when it's fairly expensive and there's other guys at the price. And you'll see this, guys, there's so many options, which means a lot of these guys are good, and you wait and hear my thoughts on them. I'm saying most of these guys are decent. It's just which one do you want and which one do you want to pick. Lock and load on the guy that you're excited about, not the one I'm excited about, or a lot of these guys can do a great job. And we all know that it's very hard to start well. We don't know who's going to score great in the first few rounds. We're hoping and we do the analysis, but it's not going to work out perfectly, and your pick might be better. And one of those is RTS. Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, I think, should be a really solid starter, for sure. But the wires need to be good for the next level with Roger, in my opinion. Matt Timoko, he's very much a likely improver as well after having a tough second half of the year. He began really well last year and then he fell off. How much is he going to improve? That's going to be the big question with Matt Timoko. Scott Sorensen, I think he's fine. 2 years ago, he was incredible. Last year, lots of injuries and didn't play big minutes. He's got Papali'i there. Is he going to play middle or some edge? Unsure. So Sorensen could only play 50 minutes and it's a miss at that level. If he plays 80, then we can work it out then, but it's very hard to say that he's going to get 80 minutes or close to it. Ali Leataua, we're taking a punt that he goes to the next level. Him and Jarrell Skelton, exact same thing. They're both beasts. They're both incredible. I'm excited to see Ali play. I'm excited to see Skelton play. They're very, very expensive at 500k. Can they take the next jump and get to 600 plus? Yes, but what are the chances? 25%. It's a bit of a punt. Isaac Tungo, we know that he's done it before. It's different to those two above. We're banking on a bounce back to 2023. I think it's a decent chance that it pays off. Probably 40% that he gets back to mid to high 40s level. Priced at 37. Really solid pick for sure. Mr. Gilbert, priced less than 2023 before injuries. He's a safe pick at the price for sure. I definitely think it should work. But how quickly is he going to get back to big minutes? And is he going to get to that 10 points of value that he was in that first stint at the Dolphins before injuries? And they've got Plath there that can take some minutes. Does he move from the edge into middle? I think it's safer, and hearing that Plath is likely to just stick on that edge and he plays some middle, maybe. And that's a maybe. So Gilbert might be locked into that 13. He's a great origin player. Mr. Aaron Clark, we're taking a punt that he gets 50 minutes. If he gets under that, I don't know if it's worth it. I don't think 40 to 45 works. I think he holds price there. 50 minutes, he makes some good money. Can he get 50 in this pack? I'm not sure. But some people think he can. Brimson, stats say it's going to work. The injuries may stop it. I think it's a good pick, but he misses round 1. So you're looking at him and Greg Marzou at the same price. So the stats, as I said, say that Brimson can work well at 5'8". In his last couple of years he's played there, 24 and 22. And he looked great in the trials. So just needs to stay fit. It's very, very hard for him to do that. Fun pick, a good looper from round 1 if it ends up that way for you. Greg Marzou, worst year in 4 seasons. Pretty tough for Greggy boy. with that one. A couple of points less than his other worst. And he was awesome in 2023. And I think his preseason form showed that you can trust him from round one, especially against some easier sides. Alex Seyfarth, I think he's got the spot with 65 minutes, and this pick works great. He was the captain in the trials, which was awesome as well. So plenty of good things on that front with those guys, and is someone you should be excited about, in my opinion. I've talked him up all preseason. He won't leave my side personally. Well, he wasn't in the 7 guys locked in, but I think he is locked in so far. So there's an insight into number 8 in my list. Adam Dewey is still definitely a worry at centre. He would need the goals to be worth the punt. I think he should keep the goals. He's a great goal kicker, but Appy's done a good job as well. So you won't know until round 2. That's the thing. So he'll definitely have it round 1, but will he keep it in round 2? And you want to hope that the Tigers improve. Jack Cogger, definitely better in the halves. If he's available, he has some switch risk. Should be solid. Should make money. But will he lose his spot? Jackson Seyfarth. I keep saying it. Will work. Jackson Seyfarth. What is it? Cowarth. Will work over the season. But is it a round 1 play? I'm really excited about him this year. Trial, he looked okay, to be fair. Got Eels round 1 into the bye into Panthers. I think you can wait, but also is a really solid pick. Wow, I can't believe we call him Seyfarth. Howarth. Tom Starling. Paddy's breathing down his neck, for sure. I think he's a really solid pick to begin if he is starting in this scenario at 450k. I think you can be ready to pivot to him if he happens to get massive minutes. But how many minutes is Paddy going to get? I think he deserves 20 or 30. If Starling's near 50, it's not ideal. If he's 60 plus, it's a winning formula for Starling. Hetherington. PPM's never been good. He's got the starting spot. But how many minutes is he going to get with Haas and Carrigan? He looked really good in the trial, to be fair. Metcalf. He's straight up and down. He's a good pick if he's a 7, which he is. And we've got CHT that's next to him, and we're a little bit worried about the extra kick meters, but it's Metcalf's team, and if Warriors can play solidly, he's got the goals. He'll have kicking, obviously. He'll have some more kicking than he had last year. He's priced down after the injury and kicked 40-20s and good things like that. So if they can score some points, he should be in amongst it for sure. He wasn't as much in their trial on the weekend because they were out in the wings and stuff, but he should be fine. Hard to go against someone like that for sure. Talis Duncan, he's a chance of the edge. I think I actually like him on the edge more than at 13. I'm not sure on the minutes at 13, but on edge we can guarantee pretty high minutes, sort of 60 plus, which I think he scored really, really well in that edge time last year. So we're going to wait until 1B, so team list next week, to learn about that one. David Moale, he's my breakout of the year. Been in and out of my side as well. Very, very pod type of play. Won't be everyone's choice, but I see the value early, especially with all the injuries over that first month. Kelma Tuolangi will be hit and miss, in my opinion, but I expect more hit at the price next to Moses and Lomax. It's pretty exciting on that side, but you've got to worry about those missed tackles for sure. -2 a pop. Nafahu White, I think it's an easy expectation of more minutes. We just heard Tedesco talk him up. He also talked up Lenu, and they got Collins there as well, but he should have a more consistent base of minutes heading into that Terrell May type of minutes role, just a little bit more than what White was getting. So a pick that should work. DPP, Lenu out early. Pretty easy selection if you're interested in him. Burbo. Ben Trebojevic, more of a punt than Tuolangi with centre move risk, and he hasn't hit the heights yet, unfortunately, for Burbo. Should be okay though. Jazz Tafunga, I do expect some minutes this year with pretty good PPM in the middle. It's not as good at 9. I think he's a really solid pick. If he can get 40 odd minutes, we should see him hit somewhere in the mid-30s pretty comfortably with a chance of hitting a 40 average. So if you have him in your side, don't worry about taking him out. Takaaho, he looked really solid in the trials. I'm probably expecting some decent minutes with a decent PPM, not to the heights that he has in recent history, and he's definitely a bit of a risk, but he will be fine. Not high on my list, but a solid pick. Finifuyaki, the trial made me feel a lot more comfortable. Where does Lem play? Lemuelu, that is. And what do we see from guys like Plath? Is he going to have big minutes on one edge? And is Finn going to be able to get big minutes on that edge? I'm not sure. Him and Lem will split some time for sure. Kyle Flanagan and Lockie Ilias to finish things off. I think they're okay picks. Bit expensive with no kicking in general play for Flanagan. And Ilias not really a flashy player with the kicking in play. So it's a bit meh on those guys. Make sure if you're a New Zealand resident, You go into the description below, it shows you how to sign up for their free league where you have a chance of winning 2 tickets and accommodation to Magic Round next year. So you have to be New Zealand resident. Jump on their Instagram to do that. And if you haven't joined the private group yet, it's the last day to lock yourself in for head-to-heads, which is going to be important. I'm sorting that one out by the end of today, tomorrow at worst. But you can jump in the private group for the whole year, and I'll adjust the prices once we can't get into a bunch of the complete overall and head-to-head. I'll adjust that down. You can jump in at any time if you want some help from myself, from the team, and different prizes and stuff along the way, which would be good fun. And quickly go and check out the top 10 analysis, which is in there as well. All that info is in the description, guys. Go check it out and have a cracking Friday.